Most people think being an introvert is a disadvantage, especially in a world that celebrates loud voices, bold personalities, and constant social interaction. But what if that belief is completely wrong? What if being an introvert is actually one of the most powerful advantages you can have, especially when you learn how to use it the right way? Imagine walking into a room full of people. Some are talking non-stop, trying to be noticed, trying to dominate the conversation. And then there's you, quiet, observing, listening. Most people underestimate that presence. But that's exactly where your strength lies. Being an introvert doesn't mean you lack confidence. It doesn't mean you don't have ideas. It means you process the world differently. You think before you speak. You observe before you act. And in a world full of noise, that kind of awareness is rare and incredibly valuable. One of the biggest advantages introverts have is the ability to listen deeply. While others are busy talking, you're understanding. You're picking up on tone, emotion, and meaning. This gives you an edge in relationships, leadership, and decision-making. People feel heard around you, and that builds trust faster than any loud speech ever could. Think about leadership for a moment. Many people assume great leaders are always charismatic, always outspoken, always in the spotlight. But the truth is, some of the most effective leaders are introverts. They don't lead by dominating the room, they lead by understanding it. They create space for others to speak, and when they do talk, their words carry weight because they've taken the time to think them through. As an introvert, your words matter more because you don't waste them. When you speak, people listen. That's not a weakness, that's influence. Another powerful trait introverts have is focus. You're naturally more comfortable working alone, going deep into tasks without needing constant external stimulation. In a world full of distractions, this ability is like a superpower. While others are jumping from one thing to another, you can stay locked in, producing work that is thoughtful, detailed, and high quality. But here's where most introverts go wrong: they try to become someone they're not. They think they need to act extroverted to succeed. They force themselves into situations that drain them, trying to match energy that doesn't feel natural. And in doing so, they lose the very advantage that makes them unique. The goal is not to become an extrovert. The goal is to become a powerful version of your introverted self. That starts with understanding your energy. Social interaction can be draining for introverts, and that's okay. Instead of fighting it, plan around it. Give yourself time to recharge. Protect your energy like it's a resource, because it is. When you manage your energy well, you show up stronger, clearer, and more confident. Another key is preparation. Introverts thrive when they have time to think. So use that. Before meetings, conversations, or presentations, take time to prepare your thoughts. When you walk in with clarity, you don't need to be the loudest voice, you just need to be the most thoughtful one. And here's something important: confidence doesn't come from being loud. It comes from being certain. When you know what you're saying matters, you don't need to shout. You speak calmly, directly, and with purpose. That kind of confidence is quiet, but it's incredibly powerful. Let's talk about communication. Many introverts struggle with speaking up, not because they don't have something to say, but because they overthink. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect words. But the truth is, your voice matters, even if it's not perfect. Start small. Speak up once in a meeting. Share one idea. Ask one question. You don't need to dominate the conversation, you just need to be part of it. Over time, that builds confidence, and people start to recognize your input as valuable. Another advantage introverts have is authenticity. You're less likely to put on a show or pretend to be something you're not. And people can feel that. In a world full of surface-level interactions, authenticity stands out. It builds deeper connections, stronger relationships, and lasting respect. Use that to your advantage. You don't need to network like everyone else. You don't need to talk to everyone in the room. Focus on meaningful conversations. One real connection is more valuable than 10 shallow ones. Now let's address something that holds many introverts back: fear of visibility. There's a tendency to stay in the background, to avoid attention. But here's the reality: your ideas can't make an impact if no one hears them. Being an introvert doesn't mean staying invisible. It means choosing how you show up. You don't have to be loud, but you do have to be present. Find ways to share your voice that feel natural to you. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's one-on-one conversations. Maybe it's speaking when you've had time to prepare. There's no single way to be heard, you just need to find yours. And remember this, people don't follow noise, they follow clarity. If you can communicate your ideas clearly and confidently, you don't need to compete with louder personalities. You stand out because you're grounded, thoughtful, and real. Another important point is decision-making. Introverts often take more time to think things through. In a fast-paced world, that can feel like a disadvantage. But it's actually a strength. While others rush into decisions, you consider different angles, anticipate outcomes, and make more informed choices. That kind of thinking leads to better results over time. It reduces mistakes, builds trust, and shows reliability. But balance is key. Don't let overthinking turn into inaction. At some point, you have to move. Trust your preparation, trust your instincts, and take action even if everything isn't perfect. Let's also talk about resilience. Being an introvert in an extroverted world can sometimes feel challenging. You might feel overlooked or misunderstood. But instead of seeing that as a weakness, see it as an opportunity to build strength. Your quiet nature teaches patience. Your reflective thinking builds clarity. Your independence develops resilience. These are qualities that last, that grow, and that create long-term success. And here's something powerful, introverts often lead by example. You don't need to command attention to influence people. Your actions, your consistency, your integrity, these speak louder than words. People notice the one who stays calm under pressure. The one who listens when others talk. The one who thinks before acting. That's leadership, even if it doesn't look like the traditional version. So instead of trying to change who you are, start leveraging it. Use your listening skills to build trust. Use your focus to produce high-quality work. Use your authenticity to create real connections. Use your thoughtfulness to make better decisions. And most importantly, stop underestimating yourself. The world doesn't just need loud voices. It needs thoughtful ones. It needs people who can see what others miss. It needs individuals who lead with depth, not just volume. Being an introvert is not something to fix. It's something to understand, to develop, to use. Because when you learn how to leverage your nature instead of fighting it, you don't just fit into the world, you stand out in it. And that's where your true power begins.